Hello, welcome to Amateur Hour. We're going to be fighting for wins over clicks here, and we're very mad about it.
Woo, woo.
It's officially Bechtember,
No,
and
I'd rather take the clicks. Please give us the
yeah,
clicks.
let's.
You can rub my
And
click.
we're going to change our tune from last week. I think Brian Ferentz is officially losing his job now. I know the title said winning last week. We were going for clicks, it didn't quite work, so
Yep.
he's losing his job now. So, how are we feeling?
Doing great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic.
You boys ready for conference play?
I'm here so
Well,
I
I
don't
guess that
get
was
fined.
There you go.
Say two of us feel great. Two of us.
No,
so much.
I thought about this all 4 days or whatever it's been since Saturday. I want to be optimistic.
Mhm.
I want to just move on from the season or move on forward from this game. Move on from the season.
Season, we're just done.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to do my best to not be super pessimistic, but yeah, fuck Brian Ferentz. Get him out of here.
You want to know how bad I thought your season was going, Joey? I thought you were wearing our alternate uniforms right now.
No, hell, it's got a Hawkeye on it, baby. Get that Tiger Hawk up there. I haven't worn this in, I don't know, 10 years, and I only wanted to wear it because I'm home and just going back to the old school make it win days. So that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
I
a
like
Charles
it.
Godfrey jersey if you're looking for
I was just gonna ask who it was. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was Antoine Randall L for a second.
No. I could make something up about I bought it during Sean Green's time. I don't even know if he was 28 at Iowa. I don't remember, but it's Charles Godfrey.
I don't know.
I thought he had a 6 in there. Or
He
something.
may have.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
You've just been sitting there thinking of the glory days, haven't you?
Yep, I had passed it on to Rochelle, and then I was going through it. I was like, what shirt am I going to wear? Because I'm actually home tonight. I was like, I'm going to wear the damn jersey. We're going to start fresh. This is a new season starting now.
Starting now. Exactly.
I should change hats.
I like it. There you go.
No,
It's a very superstitious.
I'm not superstitious. Maybe I am, but I should change hats. I've worn this hat every time, but we'll see what happens. I did not include an Iowa shirt, jersey, hooded sweatshirt this time. I just went with a hat.
It's one game, like we said. We'll get to it in a little bit as well. But like you said, I like that we're turning a page where it's all PVO, positive vibes only.
That's right, baby. Let's roll.
So,
We're not. There's no wins and losses. It's wins and lessons.
wins and lessons. We did learn that from our savior in college football, Deion Sanders. So
Big D defense.
well, you know how we start with these pods. We always got to start with trivia. I'm here to teach you guys some new things here, and we're going to keep it on positive vibes here, not for our teams, but for the little Kansas Jayhawks. They are officially 4-0 in back-to-back seasons for the first time since what year?
Do I need to
years.
both of them?
I guess whatever. Whenever they start, I don't care.
Well, if
90
you name one, you're going to get the other one.
Not necessarily.
Well, all right, 50-50 chance on the second one.
90 and 91.
No. Joey?
Ooh, 87,
Think farther
88.
back. 87, 88? Farther back, no.
I didn't hear your hint, so.
Farther back than that, I'll go 57, 58.
Close. 1913 to 1915.
Oh, Jesus
Wow.
Christ.
You know, didn't KU have some good football years back in the early 90s? Like, that's where I went with that.
Yeah, weren't they rivals with Nebraska?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and that's where it's like I always think of it. It's like because Iowa State, Kansas State, we've all had just terrible histories way back in the day. It's like how the hell did we? Oh, it's because we had Oklahoma and Nebraska in our for what, a century. We've had them in there. So programs that aren't as good, and we're probably typically playing one of them first in the year. Like it makes sense why Kansas has never been 4-0 for 108 years.
Mm-hmm.
But holy shit, that's pretty bad. That's as bad as Iowa State winning a conference title. Bad.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you can luck into 4-0 occasionally. Conference title, a lot tougher, but is what it is here. So, but let's kind of get into it here, guys. Do we want to do Colorado, Ohio State, or the AP poll first?
Colorado.
Colorado, let's get out of the way. Colorado got humbled. I think this picture summarizes it perfectly. Colorado got destroyed 42-6. We know Travis Hunter wasn't in the game.
Would that have made that much of a difference?
No. Yeah. He's not he's probably maybe a touchdown. That would be, I think, worth it, but not 36 points worth of a difference.
And you think a tutty, huh?
That's what I think.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I
think between him on offense scoring and defense potentially stopping, I think a touchdown.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking of it like covers wise and blah blah blah, because they always talk about coaches only make up a 1 point difference cover wise, even like Jim Harbaugh and stuff. So yeah, that's why I was thinking, a tutty for Travis Hunter sounds like a lot. But yeah, if you think game wise, yeah, definitely he probably could have scored a touchdown.
My hatred for Colorado is even worse now. I think I sent this in the group text, or maybe just to Brian. I can't remember. But I had the over 70 in this game, and Colorado did next to nothing to help me win that bet. So I lost it. Thanks, Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado, terrible for the bets. I probably will bet that game upcoming this weekend versus USC. But yeah, I mean that was just, I'm not going to say pathetic. That was just terrible, man. Like, no offense. And for all the shit talking they were talking before the game, saying they're going to beat the coach's ass and they're going to beat their ass, and y'all so little. And then because you got the touchdown in garbage time, that's the only reason you don't lose 42-0. I mean,
yeah,
I'm glad they got humbled, man. We can all hate as much as we want, but like, we needed to tone it back a bit. ESPN, Fox, everyone just like, okay, they're a middle FBS team at best. Let's start treating them like it.
Yeah, and I couldn't even bring myself to watch the video, but it was Deion Sanders in front of the team, like holding his phone, like, oh, the first person to text me after this was Travis Hunter after the game. It's like Travis Hunter was live streaming during the game.
Yeah. Okay. I brought it up in one of our group chats here. I want to ask you, does that not seem, and I know the game was out of hand and he literally cannot do anything at that point, does it not seem a little weird that he's streaming in the middle of the game? Like, the one thing he can do at that point is cheer on his teammates and just at least watch the game, watch film, if anything, you could think of it that way. And he's just streaming on I think Twitch. I don't even know which one it is, but like,
Brian, how many Gen Zers do you work with and intern on a daily basis? They have more than one screen going all the time. Hell, I got 3 screens going, and I'm a fucking millennial. Like, of course he was watching the game and streaming at the same time. I mean, fuck, I had 5 screens going when I was watching football Saturday, just being a drunk, high idiot. So I'm sure he was doing the same thing I was, other than drinking and being high. Well, it's Colorado, so maybe both. But
yeah.
I don't. I'm sorry, I completely interrupted you guys, but I don't hold anything against him. He was probably just playing games and watching the game at the same time.
Mm. I don't know. It just seems weird, and I think it's going to be like you said. I think it's just the younger crowd. I'm going to have to get used to it. That just seems very weird. And then, like you said, then he's texting afterwards, "Hey, coach, I'm going to come back." Why would you ever come back before you're not 100% healthy, man?
Yeah.
You're going to get steamrolled these next 2 games while you're supposed to be out. Then you come back fresh in an easy game, and then it's going to look like you're the savior. But, like, yeah, I need to rush back, so I'm the difference in the USC game. Nah.
So I said this last week. I think USC is a way better matchup for them than Oregon is, based on USC's defense. He could be a difference maker in that game, to be honest with you. Like, I think Caleb Williams throws away from him regardless if he's on the field or not. But I don't think that it's out of the realm of possibility that Travis Hunter could have a good game against USC.
We'll never know, I guess.
Right.
I would say, I don't know, man. It just seems like it's one of those things that I think we all kind of despise with Kirk and Campbell. They're a little more reserved. They do still have some of the media stuff. Of course, they're going to catch that one on camera, man. They got cameras 24/7, and they post just non-freaking stop.
Right.
and I don't know. I thought that was a little weird. Hey, here's a private conversation. I'm going to bring it up. Oh, shoot, are the cameras there? It caught me being a good coach and better man. Oh, shit. Well, another Dion moment. Oops. I don't know. Cameras always running. It's a weird thing. So I would say next one. I would say did either of you watch the Notre Dame Ohio State match?
Saw the end of it.
Yep.
Best game of the weekend.
Yeah.
That was no offense to the Iowa fans. That's why I hated. I was trying to be a good Iowa resident and watch the Iowa game. I wish I would just watch the Ohio State Notre Dame game that whole time, because that was a back and forth. Not really a lot of offense, but it was a lot of solid defense in it.
Yeah, the Buckeyes really surprised me in that one. I think they got exposed on some of their weaknesses too against them. A few plays I saw.
Don't let Ryan Day hear you say that.
No, well, if he does, I'm not sorry.
Yeah. He'll add you to his vendetta list. So far, it's an 86-year-old former head coach and now a 37-year-old podcaster. We're going
37-year-old from Iowa who doesn't believe in us.
Never have, never will.
I can't believe this.
And then there's
where is
then there's
Lou Holtz's
touchdown Jesus. I can't believe we didn't have 10 players on the field.
To Lou Holtz's credit, he could figure out the Ukla to figure out his speed.
That was one of the best interviews I've seen in some time. And usually, I think ESPN kind of, I don't know, ESPN is kind of a waning product, but I love that they had the Pat McAfee character who does the Lou Holtz impression.
Ty Schmidt
Interviewing Lou Holtz. Yeah.
Who is from Iowa, by the way.
Well, there we go. More Iowa connection. Yep. But yeah, I don't know. Do you buy into Ryan Day being that angry and firing his team up like that, or does it seem a little cheesy? I don't know. It seems like a weird target to me.
It's so cheesy because Lou Holtz is such a Notre Dame homer. Like, he coached there. Like, what do you expect from the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in front of the Notre Dame crowd, and I'm a former, probably one of the best coaches here ever. Yeah, I'm going to say good things about Ohio State. I'm going to pick them. I don't know. It's like a pep rally. Yeah, it was a nationally televised pep rally, but then you're going to be screaming and just seething about it after a game. Yeah. It seems like a very weird thing.
See, I think it was a good thing for Ryan Day. He got his team to be one more man stronger than Notre Dame's defense. So that won them the game.
Yep.
Well, I would say that was going to be the next thing that we're going to bring up here. I just put Matthew's comment on there. I'm going to bring it up the map here. I couldn't believe when I saw this on Saturday, because during the game you think it's an amazing play and Ohio State just gets it. They are missing I guess left side on our screen, but their right defensive end. And that's exactly where they ran into the end zone, barely making it. How the hell does that happen at a major D1 level, man?
So, let me ask you this, which is more coach speech? Ryan Day getting pissed at Lou Holtz and using that as bulletin board material, or Marcus Freeman saying, well, we didn't want to take the penalty. You take that penalty, you're a half a yard closer. I mean, It's not like you're getting 4 yards on a 6-yard 3rd and 6 goal to go type of thing. Like that's such bullshit. I think they made a mistake. He took his headphones off before this play was ran, and I think he got exposed. I think Marcus Freeman's a great coach. I think he's going to be good for Notre Dame, but he's learning on the job. He's not a huge, big time on the field coach, so he's like training as he's going.
I agree. I would say it is I don't know. And to be honest, that tight of a game, you could look at any one of these plays that would have been the difference. It's just when that is the last plays, time expires, the largest game on NBC in 30 years, everything's going to be screwed. And It's like that. So, and from what I was listening to PMT earlier today, and like they're talking about, probably one of the bigger mistakes they made was Notre Dame on second down when they're trying to drain as much time off, passing the ball on second down, not letting the clock run, I mean, you let that clock run any different. They don't have these 3 seconds. They have about 20 to 30 less seconds overall that they can even do this final drive, down into the same end zone that Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart did the exact same thing, breaking their hearts. So I don't know, but I agree. The Marcus Freeman is way more. At least Day has kind of like a reason. Freeman is just covering his player's ass.
I'd cover his ass. That dude is sexy as fuck.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Not as sexy as the
There it
coaching
is.
staff
Oh.
back in the 50s when I was
Oh.
on the staff.
Hell yes. I can't even do a lisp right. Jesus.
Well, now when you're staying at Marcus Freeman, you just get all flustered.
Oh.
It sounds like, but yeah. I at the end of it though, after all this, I am loving that Lou Holtz didn't even back down, and there's no reason he should. He's doesn't have to coach or prove anything anymore. But I love how he just he's talking about me because they don't want to talk the real thing. He can't beat the real team in his conference at this point.
That's right.
So, what was the last subject here? Sorry, I'm getting it all switched around here. Oh, I saw in the top 25. I don't know if you guys looked at it. There are 6 teams right now that are receiving number 1 votes right now.
Mhm.
I'm loving that. I think people, we complain more than anyone, I feel, and we always talk about SEC bias and everything. People, I think, are slowly inching away from just, well, they were good last year and they haven't lost, so we're just gonna have to go, keep going. I mean, Georgia is still leading with 55 first place votes, and it's kind of hard to vote against that. But Michigan, 1 first place vote. Texas at 3 with 2 first place votes. Ohio State at 4, 1 place vote, 1 first place vote. Florida State at 5 with 3 first place votes, and then skips Penn State for some reason, and then Washington at 7 with 1 first place vote. So we're starting to see a little bit of that parity getting away from the SEC. Not only one of their worst years, but it's kind of nice, honestly, people not knowing who the hell the best team in the country is right now.
Yeah, I like it. I still think Georgia is the true number 1. I mean, until somebody beats them, they have to be.
It feels like with the Georgia being number 1, it kind of feels like, Cincinnati got into their one playoff run because they've had the sustained success of 24 straight wins. They've earned getting into the playoffs at that point.
Yep.
Same thing with Georgia. We can disrespect Georgia all we want, but 2-time back-to-back national champs, you kind of earn that respect of you don't get a drop down until you actually lose this point.
I do like seeing Florida State getting the second most number 1 votes. I think they're really good, and they are not very far removed from being really bad.
Yeah, and especially if you go off of resume, Florida State definitely has the best one. I mean, Ohio State over Notre Dame is pretty good, but LSU is throttling people. You could say, I mean, if you go off resume alone, I'd go Florida State, Texas, probably Ohio State, and then Georgia, I guess. Probably, I don't even know. I mean, Washington, Utah, you get some Pac-12 teams up in there too. So I like the parity as well.
Who do you think is the best team outside of Georgia? Of the other 5, who do you think is the best one that gives them the best shot?
I'll go first. I guess I like Washington. Michael Penix, hell of a fucking quarterback. I think he's definitely in that solid second tier under Caleb Williams. I think he might be the best out of him, Drake May, Bo Nix, Spencer Rattler's up there. I think that him with 3 NFL wide receivers and an offensive line that looks really fucking good, and their whole defense is back from last year. I mean, look out for Washington. Washington's really, really fucking good. I would pick them, I think.
Mm-hmm. I kind of feel the same, only because I don't want to say the one that I think might legit be the best one. I don't want to give them any credit, but Texas. Yeah.
They're big. They're a Big 12 team. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Never mind. The Big 12. That's our toughest conference.
Damn right.
No, all the shit we talk about Sark, and then I don't know, man. They haven't. I don't know. They played the worst Alabama team that we've had in a decade. So
speaking of Texas, since we're on the Texas topic, every week we kind of go over if Texas is back. Correct here. Let me see here.
Trent's piggybacking off the conspiracy theory podcast on Monday.
Can you share my screen there, Bryant?
Give me 1 second here. I don't see a screen that I can share.
Oh, there we go. Let me share it.
I'll save this for.
And this is coming from James Torres, official Texas fan.
Yeah.
Do we
need a drum roll here?
Yeah, he said he will let us know if Texas is back. That way, the Pulse of the Heartland can announce it to the world from an official Texas fan if they are back or not. So here we go. No, that's Torres.
Okay.
And that's no, I got official word that they are not back. So we'll have to wait another week for Texas to be back.
Torres, if you are listening, could you tell us what the field goal post is for this? Like, I want to know what is going to make them back. Do they have to throttle Oklahoma? Do they have to make the college football playoff? What makes them back?
I think win a college football playoff game.
Yeah. He'll let me know.
They'll never.
He usually listens to it. He says he listens to it when he runs. So you better go watch the YouTube version starting at about 21 and a half minutes there, Torres.
Yeah. See a handsome face on there. Now, I forgot to bring this up. Matthews had another great one. That was a hell of a way to start the morning. That Florida State-Clemson game. Mm-hmm. Clemson was 26, so that should have been another top 25. Apparently, that kicker had unretired, came back for the game, and then missed the. I mean, I think all of us could honestly suit up and have a very good chance of making that, and just shanks it left. That is.
We're in the jersey. Let's roll. I got 4th state run, punt, and pass one year.
Oh shit! State run, punt, and pass.
That's
all right.
Because the only reason we ever did good at that is because they never made us kick a ball off the ground like a field goal.
Hey, when you are an 8th grader throwing 120 feet and kicking the ball 157 feet, yeah, I'll take that any day.
40 yards. Okay, I was like, I thought you said 120 yards for a second. I was like, what are you, fucking Superman?
Jamarcus Russell over here.
Yep, exactly. On my knees, throwing it out of the stadium on a Powerade commercial like a Michael Vick.
Cripes. But yeah, no. So we'll how about this for a new segment, Joey? You're gonna get a football, and without stretching, you're gonna do run, punt, and pass this weekend. Let us know what your totals are again.
Okay, I'm in.
Don't insure anything because we don't have insurance.
I did Habitat for Humanity yesterday, so I'm a little sore anyway from going up and down a ladder, which I haven't done in months. But yeah, I'll do it.
All the excuses are already.
Nope. I'm warmed up. I went to Maisie and the boys' soccer practice and ran around the field with them a little bit. So yeah, I got the ball skills.
All right. Well, I would say we couldn't before we get to the games. I think the one last thing I wanted to bring up because I think it's awesome. This is what NIL is all about. You know, it's not about paying players hundreds of thousands of dollars to just basically pro recruit them. It's so you can have stupid meme and NIL deals where you have 4 Iowa State players lined up where it says purchase more ham and bacon for the Iowa pork producers. So, I got a good kick out of it. I saw all of the videos that they were putting up there. It was like all these players were just posing with ham and bacon and shit. This is what it's about, man. How do you do any better than this?
Yep, I like this.
It was pretty creative, actually.
Yes.
I thought it was pretty fun.
Oh, that and Matthews. I think we talked about this one, General Booty for
is it underwear?
For Oklahoma. The underwear, yeah, we've talked about that one. That it's that stuff. It's not the $100,000 for some random website and you know just basically embezzle it to a kid.
Yeah, that's just it. Some of these guys are getting way over 6 figures pay to play. It ain't NIL. These guys, how much do you think these guys got for that a piece?
$500.
I'm not really sure. From the kids that I've talked when they do these NIL stuff through Iowa State, one of them, he did an 8-hour camp, and I think it's it's got there's a comma in it, so this is probably a little bit more with it actually being pork producers.
Yeah, I was gonna say I bet they got $10,000 a piece.
10 grand?
At most.
I was thinking $500.
I was
$500.
just saying, 10 grand. 10 grand at the most.
All the pork producer patties thrown at parades the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Dude, they're so good. If you ever at a
Oh,
high
yeah,
school
they
baseball
are.
game and the pork producers are there, go get one.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm seeing in the comments, Jaeger wants to really rush and start talking. He wants to get to talking about the Iowa football game here,
I don't
but
think there's much to
we're
talk
gonna-
about, is there?
they did play a football
Yeah.
game here, but
Did they?
I would say we'll
Did they though?
go ahead.
I didn't see
No.
anything.
I didn't think they got off the bus until the second quarter. I'm not sure the way the score showed.
Free.
but-
There we go.
Well-
Free pork for life. That is worth more
Sorry.
than
I
any dollar
over there.
amount that those
Yeah.
guys could have ever gotten right there.
Yeah, I had to go pee during that comment section. But if you are, I hope they got free pork burgers for life, cooked by Keith Strite himself.
Oh,
on
yeah.
the big pork producer grill that you got at, like Trent said, baseball games or football games, anytime. Oh,
Put some Lowry's
good.
on that. Oh man.
yeah. Pork
Free pork
patties
for
are-
life
Mm,
and a pit boss to smoke it on.
hell yes.
There you go.
That is
Well, actually,
better
I'd
than.
say we'll actually get into the games here. Sorry. Go ahead,
I was
Trent.
gonna say that would be a better any NIL deal that Arch Manning has gotten so far.
Oh yeah, they definitely don't want Arch's
No.
contracts. That's for damn
No.
sure.
I'll
I
put it
turned
this
that
way:
down.
I never had to pay for a pork patty in high school. So did I get NIL?
Joey never had to pay to get that meat in high school.
Great,
huh?
Joey.
Right.
Now we're going to be stripped of all of our wins.
Hey, I never got any.
Now I know why that 8-1 team didn't make the playoffs. All those illegal benefits, Joey.
That's
Now
right.
the truth comes out all these years later.
Damn
All them pork patties slowed you down.
I mean,
Gotta be.
you're not lying, Dave. You're not lying, buddy. Took a few years, but yeah, you're right.
It finally caught up.
Yep.
We'll start with Iowa State's game. Iowa State wins 34-27. Shockingly, I can't believe that they scored that many points, but 3.5. The over hit in the first half, or I think it hit early third, but it damn near hit in the first half here. Trent, how'd you feel about the game?
Felt great about the game, but again, I had a bet on this, and I bet the under, so not great.
Me too.
Yeah. No, it felt good to have Iowa State kind of in the first quarter run what they've been running and say, okay, it's not working. And then they just did a 180 and kind of used that run because they tried to run the ball the first quarter to lull, I want to say lull Oklahoma State's defense into thinking they're going to keep running. But I mean, they had wide open receivers just streaking down the field. So it was good to see them air it out a little bit and spread the field.
I agree.
They saw, hey, this isn't working. Let's move on from it. Whereas they could have just been stubborn and, keep pounding your forehead against the wall. And is it going to hurt next time? Maybe next time it won't hurt. They didn't do that this game.
Mm-hmm. And Oklahoma State's defense is the one where they have been the least efficient defense and probably one of the worst defenses, I would say, in Power 5, let alone Big 12 for sure. That could have been the game Campbell could have really just dug his heels in and gone, no, we're going to run the fucking ball and we're going to prove it this game. And like we said, our line is run blocking atrocious. I don't pass blocking. We're still not the greatest because Rocco can evade, but they were not proving much on the run. And it just felt good that we got that healthy blend of we're passing to open up the run because we did have a few with Sanders that were opening up here, but it was,
that was in the fourth quarter though, once the passing game had opened that up.
Mm-hmm.
So now I think Iowa State has the last 10 games has tried to run to open the pass game. Now I think they need to pass to open the run game.
Yeah. When you don't have an NFL quarterback to keep the pressure off them and an NFL running back to make up for mistakes on the line, it's a little tougher. So
yes. Yeah.
But
So Rocco's still only been sacked one time this year.
Yeah, and that was it was Ohio. Sorry, but
Yeah.
I mean that one felt good. I guess speaking of Ohio, and the only game he got sacked, Ohio was up 31-0 with 7 minutes in the second half or in the second quarter for versus Bowling Green. I'm not saying again. I'm not trying to say we shouldn't. It's okay to lose to a MAC school, but Ohio's legit. You know, they were just coasting the last 2.5 quarters and not pushing the issue, because they had such a commanding lead and they got a legit defense that was scoring as well.
Yep.
So,
for sure.
Mixing that with our now that our offense, they've listened, they changed everything. I'm feeling good going into this weekend. Now we still got a lot that we need to work on, but especially defense. That was if there's a real big glaring issue, it's how is Oklahoma State that had 3 rotating quarterbacks. They finally settled on Bowman, but how is it all of a sudden this is the game where our defense is honestly not playing as perfect as they usually do to even keep us in some of these god-awful games like Iowa and Ohio.
Yeah, seeing them give up the 27 points I didn't see that coming. But for some reason, Oklahoma State and Iowa State always play this super competitive game. So, yeah.
How many times do you think he'll be sacked this week? Sorry, I'm going through the comments. How many times do we think Rocco will be sacked this weekend? We're playing Oklahoma this weekend. We'll get to it. I mean, Oklahoma's defensive line is actually pretty good. I mean, we're going to see a couple sacks this upcoming game. I know for sure. I was watching them play Cincinnati, and they're no joke. So I'd say I know Rocco's elusive, but it's all going to come down to that offensive line. Is if they can't even stop the little bit of pressure that we've even seen allowed in the Ohio and Iowa game, where, I mean, we've talked about this before, but Iowa doesn't have the pass rush that they've had in years past. And if we're going to compete in this weekend's game, we're going to have to limit it, I guess. It's going to be a tough one, but I don't know.
I don't know. It says here the host, I'm not saying who said it, but the host said 0.
Well, I was rambling, so it couldn't have been me. My hands are totally not down by near my keyboard. So, but yeah, I would say good game. We needed that. It's a good confidence booster going into a tough game this weekend. So.
For sure. Yep.
Let's get it over with, gentlemen. Penn State 31, Iowa 0. Penn State covered -15, and the under of 38.5 hit. Who wants to start? David, Joey?
Joey.
Okay. So I'll give you all the good news about this game in one sentence. We play Michigan State this weekend.
Oh,
that's it. It was not a great game. Not a great game whatsoever. And like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm trying to be positive. So, no, Iowa did not hit the over. Ryan Matthews.
All right. With that said, I'm trying to be positive too, but I got a little bit here. So Trent brought it up before the podcast a little bit, and I wrote this down as what other school would allow that to happen? Probably 0.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why they do let it happen is a little thing called nepotism, and then
for those that are wondering what happened, in case you are under a rock, what Dave's talking about is Iowa lost 31-0 to Penn State. They had 42 yards passing, 18-ish yards rushing, and 4 total first downs. Two before garbage time. Sorry, AM.
Yeah,
whatever.
and their first shutout in 23 years.
Yeah, that's what Dave's talking about. So continue, Dave. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So, in my opinion, this should be the final game, or I would think this would be the final game for Brian Ferentz. Any other coach would be their nail in the coffin. See you later. But I'm going to be positive because we do play Michigan State. And, yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah. So before we started streaming, I said that if his last name wasn't Ferentz, he would have gotten the Herm Edwards treatment and been fired before he hit the tunnel.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Not just because of the one game. I'm saying, like, if this offense had been like this for so long and so long and so long, and there's that much scrutiny, and then they do this. I mean,
but Trent, it has it, and the only time it hasn't been this way is when we've had a senior-led quarterback that they've let do the test of time for years in Ricky Stanzi, Drew Tate, CJ Beathard. I mean, they ran what's his name, Reddick out of Iowa City. Like it's just a storm of Kirk Ferentz led bullshit that fucking is gonna keep happening until he's gone. We just won't be able to get out of this until Kirk is gone. Ken O'Keefe came and went twice. Greg Davis had the highest fucking scoring team in the nation in Texas. We hired him. He lasted a year. Like it's just, we aren't going to get out of this until Kirk is fucking gone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I would say, I know you guys brought up some negative stats. There were a couple that, I'll be honest, I wanted to throw here as well, not to pile on here. Oh shoot, let me make this a little easier to read. But one of these photos here, I got a kick out of. It's basically the new. Have you seen the new Kevin James meme?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Brian Ferentz. It's that Heavens FX talking about wide receivers are just fast blockers. I got a pretty good kick out of that. And if you see on the left there with Josh Pate, Penn State had 21 more plays than Iowa had total yards.
Yep.
Give me 1 second. I had one more that I wanted to throw on here. 64. Penn State had 64 more plays in general. I mean, that's easily, for the year, and I don't even know how many years passed, the biggest differential in plays between opponents. I mean, Kirk had in his post game, he was talking about, well, we can talk about the offense didn't play good, but the defense didn't play great either. Kirk, they played 45 minutes of a 60-minute game. What the fuck do you expect your defense to do here?
So at halftime, God, I can't believe I'm fucking saying this. 25 minutes to 5 minutes was the time of possession.
Yeah.
Iowa altogether had 290 yards more in punting than they had in total offense.
Mm-hmm. Then they 360 yards punting.
What? 360. And now I have some fucking ad playing, and I don't even know where the fuck that's coming from. Cool. Perfect fucking timing.
Well,
that's what happened.
I felt pretty good.
I'm trying to look up stats for
that?
Iowa, and I get a fucking casino ad playing. Cool.
Oh, is it Buffalo?
That was Geico. Some shit. I don't know what's going on.
I didn't know they had casinos. I thought they just did car insurance.
They did, but it was Buffalo.
Yeah.
It was Geico. Cool.
Well, if you remember last week after the Ohio game, I think we knew whoever this fan is, you need to call him up and heckle Kirk after the game, because apparently it fires your coach up and he 100% changes his game plan. So I don't know his name as much as we hated him last week. You call him up, Joey, and I think I was going to turn around.
He's going to heckle
the last
Kirk,
5 years,
and Kirk's just going to shove more gum in his mouth.
Yeah. What will happen is there will be a team put in place to figure out why is this guy heckling Kirk Ferentz, and there'll be a president. That guy will be president, and the Kirk will take it over and say, no one's heckling me. We're good. And that's what's going to happen afterwards, just like racism. Kirk Ferentz knows how to solve everything.
there you go.
God damn it.
Kirk just says, if you're mad, you just wave at these children and remember things could be worse. And it's like, I'd rather be those children right now than watch this offense again.
Brian, your tweet there had some great engagement. 18 retweets, 240 likes, 22,000 views. Gee.
You know what? Sometimes you strike gold, and for a middling podcast like this, that's impressive.
I mean, you're the guy that put out the tweet last year from Pulse of the Heartland that made Bleacher Report too.
Look at you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start getting paid from Twitter.com so we can supplement having to buy new mics and cameras and shit. mine looks like I'm in a dark room and I don't have any lights on
Yeah,
for some
yeah.
reason.
Your lighting
So-
makes your skin color a little dark for Elon to pay you. Just FYI.
Oh yeah, I would say my camera doesn't go any brighter, and I'm not going to be one of those TikTok girls that has the
Oh, you
huge
need
ring
it.
cameras behind.
You mean
You saw us fucking around with the camera last
You
week,
get
man.
you get the ring camera
say that. I
deal,
just-
light deal, and then you play that Infinity song with it, and we'll have views up the yin yang. So
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Joey,
that's what we need.
You're set up
yeah,
now.
well, that's Rochelle's setup. This is her work desk. I'm just here visiting.
Oh, we're getting some work done.
Mhm.
Don't you worry. So
Yep.
yeah, atrocious game. I mean, you could come up with any hilarious stat. It's going to be real for Iowa. Like you said, here's the other thing I wanted to point out, because we're going to talk about our next few games. Actually, we'll talk about Iowa's next few games after this. I want to point out your schedule real quick, and how you're going to sneak in the wins that you need for a big bowl game this year. So, as much as we're 3-1 and we're feeling down in the dumps, you're going to play Michigan State here, just fired their coach. Purdue, first-year head coach. Wisconsin, first-year head coach. Fleck, he's been there a while, but he always chokes against Iowa. Maybe this is the year. But
Minnesota.
he just lost to
Minnesota
Northwestern.
just got beat by Northwestern.
Yeah, Minnesota. So that one pretty easy. Northwestern just fired their coach for another allegation this summer. So first-year coach. Rutgers, Shiano, established. I'll give him that. Brett Bielema, established coach. Going to give you that. And then Nebraska, first-year head coach. This might be one of the easiest. You're going into, a lot of programs that don't have, I guess you could say, their players established. You're going to, and it's the thing that Iowa State fans are so jealous and so pissed off about. I'm not gonna say luck, but you're gonna get 8 to 9 wins again because of the Big Ten West and playing Michigan State of all teams on the other side of the Big Ten before it goes divisionless. And the shitty thing is that I was Coach Ferentz is just gonna go, well, see what I tell you. You don't need to panic when this is the schedule.
Yeah, Iowa's still going to represent the Big Ten West in the Big Ten championship game. I totally believe that.
I never in my fucking life thought that I would have 2 Iowa State guys telling me how Iowa's going to win the Big Ten West and be optimistic about a fucking Iowa team. But yes, you're right. They have a super easy schedule. I don't care how easy your schedule is. When you're 21.3 points a game, and the only reason you're even at that is because of Western Michigan. Sorry, I almost said Western Kentucky. I don't want to shame the Hilltoppers like that, but man, it's going to be a long season, folks.
Hold on, what would you say, Joey? The Hilltoppers?
There it is.
Oh.
There it is. Red Grimace.
All nights to rep this one.
Man, that makes me happy.
Red Grimace. Whoa, sorry, I almost called him Rimus, and I knew how bad that sounded before I said it. So I don't think that's his real name, though.
Perfect. Rimus.
You ready to get some Rimus tonight?
I'll top your hill.
Well, let me get. Oh no! Your hill's been topped, boy. Well, let's get Iowa's game here. This is what shocks me, I guess, most with this game versus Michigan State, and we know that they don't have Mel Tucker. Not that I think he was that great of a coach, but Michigan State is a 12.5 point underdogs going into Iowa. Over under 36.5. Excuse me. Games at 6:30 on NBC, or if you don't have it, you can stream it on the Peacock. That is, but
NBC, the cock.
The cock. Be ready to take it. Big Ten football. We're gonna cram it all the way
Later.
All right, let's
later. Reruns of 30 Rock.
Yeah.
Hey, there
30 cock.
There is a hell of a documentary on there about Kurt Angle and his opioid addiction, painkiller addiction. I'd watch that on the cock.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Kurt Angle, the WWE wrestler. Yep.
They got a bunch of because they got WWE network.
Yep. So
on there, yeah.
he won an Olympic medal with a broken neck. So that's cool.
The other day, I worked out a little bit more than I expected. I had to use a heating pad for a couple hours, and he won a gold medal with a broken
See, you
neck.
were giving me
so-
shit for excuses about I can't run, punt, and pass because of Habitat for Humanity. I was doing charitable fucking work here, man.
Well, must be nice. I have to work for a living.
I was
Jody.
working. It was
Yeah,
part of my
scum
volunteer hours that I didn't do. So
What are volunteer hours? My work says you work until we tell you you're done, and then they have a seatbelt. They just strap me into the seat. Not until you're done with all your truckers, boy.
are you a lot lizard?
No.
Brian the lot lizard. Yes. Get your
Dude,
seatbelt
yeah.
strapped in and finish your trucker.
No.
baby.
New Twitter handle for Brian.
Yeah, no, we're absolutely not going to start that.
That's
God,
why your camera's so dark, so they can't see your face when you're fucking the truckers. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's so you can't see what I'm doing with my other hand. That's why. So.
He's not even in a room. He's in the
Anyways,
back of a truck.
It's
Yeah,
a sleeper
it's,
cab.
Right.
He's like Ricky's
Let's,
dad on Trailer Park Boys, living in the dump in his cab. Dave knows.
Oh. I've never seen it, so I couldn't be hurt by what you said. All right,
Yes.
let's talk about fucking how bad Iowa is. Yeah,
That's
God damn
right.
it. Matthews has a good question. How is a team a 12-point favorite if they're not going to have 12 minutes of possession this game?
Iowa has to score 24
How-
points for this, 24 to 12 around there.
Yep.
Oh,
Weird. Yeah, no, I guess you're right.
25 to hit the over. But
yeah.
It's gonna be ugly. If you're betting that under, I would bet your kids' life savings on that. Like that's not gonna. There's no way in hell that hits the over.
Yeah, Michigan State might not score.
I think they're about in like just quitting mode
Yep.
at this point. You know, their head coach leaving this schedule.
Which team are you talking about?
I was. I'm talking about two things: Michigan's whole team and Iowa's wide receivers. That's what I'm talking about. Do we need to bring up the stat again? Iowa's receivers have 14 receptions, and Army's receivers, who last year this was the first year they called them wide receivers. They used to call them wide tackles. Army has 27 receptions.
Again, if it wasn't for the Western Michigan game, Iowa would be going on another streak of not throwing a touchdown to a receiver. How does that fucking happen?
You want to know how bad it is, man. Sorry, not to keep piling, but like they did interviews today, and they're starting to get to ask the tough questions because everyone sees the money that's thrown around with NIL. They see the money that Kirk and Brian are getting paid, and they're asking these players like, "What is going on with these receivers? How can we not get it open?" And McNamara said, "I'm just here. I do the plays. I don't call them. I just run the plays." And you got a receiver going, "Hey, I'm just going to out here run as hard as I can. If my playing as hard as I can is blocking every play, so be it." That they might as well just say Brian Ferentz fucking sucks, in my opinion. That is as close to player speak as you can say to I fucking hate this system right now.
Well, last season the same thing happened with Petrus and Reddick. No,
Padilla.
Queso Padilla.
Padilla. Yeah. The media asked Petrus, whatever, those questions, but then they asked Padilla the same questions, and you could just tell that one was just like, "Hey, I'm here to do this, and if I can get on the field, I guess I'll sit on the sidelines." It's the same.
Mm-hmm.
All it is just pretty much like a deja vu. Like you can tell that it is just. I hate using the word dictatorship, but maybe it is. It's like a Ferentz thing where it's just like, hey, we're just going to stick to the old because I haven't seen any new exciting things since like the second week in the game or in the season. Sorry. I'm just excited to go down to an Iowa game as a fan. So this weekend's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, you're going to the game.
I guess this is a good one to go to.
Yeah. 6:30 game. It'll be a late one. Late getting back to Fort Dodge, but it'll be all right.
or I would say you're going to have to give us some fresh sideline reporting on kind of the overall mood from the stands, and kind of be like that Aaron Andrews if you can.
I
Color
don't think
commentator.
I could get that hot. Okay.
You can't pull that
Well,
off.
Strip in front
No.
of a keyhole and in your hotel room that someone can videotape
Oh
through.
Jesus! I was either way. I was just going to say we just want you to dress like Aaron Andrews is more.
Okay.
What I was.
I could
going
probably
for.
pull that off.
So spaghetti
Mhm.
straps, you
Mhm.
know. But
Still staring at them
do you think
titties,
Iowa covers?
though.
What was that, Brian? I could what?
Joey's talking about titties. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Do you think Iowa covers?
That's my answer. I'm laughing.
Yeah, just burp.
Yeah.
Joey.
12.5. Give me a defensive touchdown and a random tight end touchdown. Yeah, like Trent said, Michigan State's not going to score. Sure. Yeah. I'll take 14-0.
That would be a good prop this weekend. Is Iowa defensive touchdown
Yeah.
at this point?
Yeah, they're
With the team.
they're on pace to have the lowest defensive scoring in the Phil Parker coach defense. I saw that this weekend. So they're hungry. They need turnovers. Doesn't help when you're playing in the rain and Penn State doesn't turn the ball over and you have 4. So yeah, I would not be surprised if there's a pick 6 or a punt return or something. So yeah, give me that defensive touchdown. I'll go the cover too. Yeah, I'll go 14-0.
Oh,
I just
no.
got a text from Torres. I'm gonna let him know he better watch it on YouTube.
Hey, Iowa fans, if you could answer this one real quick. Who's more defeated right now? Iowa's wide receivers or Britney Spears' music?
Britney Spears' music career. Receivers can transfer out again, even if they did come from Ohio State.
Yeah.
Charlie Jones had
Exactly.
140 passes thrown to him last year. And I think, what if the Iowa receivers had 45
Total? Yeah.
total in 4 games? That is insane. They're projecting less total to all wide receivers in Iowa's team than just Charlie Jones last year.
For me, it was so hard to watch, knowing Luke Lachey's out. Eric All is our best thing after that. Why did we not throw to the receivers more? Just get them more touches or more targets in that game. Yeah, they just don't exist.
Yeah. Well, and you only got 4 scholarship receivers too, but that's still terrible. You're not going to be. I think Tom Fornelli said it best. You're basically going to have to recruit at MAC level to get any receivers that want to. Do I want to be at the best MAC school or one of the better Big Ten schools? I'll get exposure, but I'm not going to get thrown to either. So I don't know, man. That one's going to be a rough one, but Iowa State opens as 20-point underdogs at Oklahoma on Saturday night. Over under 48.5. Excuse me. Games at 6:00 on FS1. Trent, how do you think we're going to do?
This is a tough game. I know we're riding high right now after beating Oklahoma State and them flipping the switch to, hey, we're gonna pass to open the run. That they, we're excited they made a difference or made a switch here. But I don't see us beating Oklahoma. They're good. They're really good. Their defense, this is going to be the best defense Iowa's defense is good, but yeah, like you said, Rocco Beck is probably going to get sacked. They're dark. Yeah, this is going to be tough. In 20, I don't know. Do you think Oklahoma score or covers that 20?
I don't see them covering the 20. I think our defense will improve from last week. I think it was kind of a shock, to be honest, that Oklahoma State kind of changed up their whole game plan as well with keeping one person, and they're really starting to air it out. A couple stats I want to throw out because I know Matthews is going to get all giddy about it. I guess first, I got another trivia question for you. Since 2000, Oklahoma leads the FBS in most 4-0 starts 4-0 starts to a season, how many times have they started 4-0?
Since 2000?
Since
23
2000.
seasons. What'd you say, Dave?
Mhm.
12?
Yeah, 12.
I'm going to go
12?
higher. I'm going to
More?
go like 18.
I'm going 20.
You're close. It was Trent was closest. It was 17 seasons where they've started 4-0. So I would say they're in familiar territory. I'd say, especially coming off of last year, this is the start they absolutely needed to kind of get more confidence under Venables. Oklahoma leads all. They're edging out Iowa State barely in the all-time record. Oklahoma leads head-to-head 79-7-2. But of the 7 wins that Iowa State has had, 4 of them have been in Norman, which we play in this weekend, and 2 of the 7 have been under Matt Campbell. So we're right in the spot that we want to be.
Matthews says he doesn't have enough fingers to count how many times they've started 4-0. Joke's on you. I work with radiation every day, so maybe I do.
Soon enough, you're going to have it here. You're going to start growing a few on
My
the
child
side.
might.
Oh, no.
From me working close to radiation.
A couple few fingers, a couple spare eyeball, shit like that.
Well, yeah,
Punch
you
back.
and your wife both work in radiation, so
Yeah.
So
creepy sex.
I personally think though, if you watched this last game where they played Cincinnati, now Cincinnati got away with quite a few things when they're playing them, which maybe that will come into our favor is the refs being on our side in this game and not calling some shit. But Emory Jones isn't the greatest quarterback. He was doing enough to kind of keep it close, but I don't know. I think this is going to hit over, but I think Iowa State covers. I think our defense is going to do as much as they can, but I think our offense, now that we're opening up, I think it's going to kind of be run and gun. Unfortunately, right now Oklahoma's got the better athletes, and they always have. So it's going to be, if our defense can step up, if our line can play good enough to give Rocco enough time to at least be elusive and make something happen, I think it gives us the slimmest of shots. I texted him earlier what he thinks. Dylan Gabriel, we're gonna have to expect a bad game from Dylan Gabriel because if he's kind of a, I don't know if you want to say game manager statistician. He's not going to blow up, but he doesn't really make the mistakes. Now, if you can get him making some mistakes like our defense is capable of, I think we have a shot here. But if anything, from what I see in this game with how we've started and where we are at this season, the only thing I'm mad about is I'm disrespected that the over-under is, or I'm sorry, the spread is 20 points. We've played them within, I think, 2 touchdowns the last 7-8 years. I mean, that one feels a little bit egregious.
So Matt Campbell's teams always versus Oklahoma for some reason plays them close, and they just muddy this game up, and they play and keep the game ugly to keep it close. This team can't do that though. This team can't ugly this game up by just trying to run the ball. We don't have David Montgomery anymore. We don't have Breece Hall anymore. Our offensive line can't run block. So you said about the run and gun, and unfortunately, Oklahoma's can score points. So Iowa State better not miss any opportunity to put points on the board.
Agreed. And we've seen that too many times this year, man, where it's between that, we haven't had great success with our special teams in all games. This last Saturday was probably the most together special teams that we've seen.
Yep.
So we're getting in the right direction here with how we want to play this one. It is just going to be this is a tall task. You're also playing for the last time in Norman. That's a tough environment. I don't know. I know when I went there, honestly, they were in a couple years where they were so good. It's like, I think we were up 20. They were up 21 in well, sorry, he mentioned Lincoln Riley, but they're up 21. So it's, if you're an Oklahoma Sooner fan, you're up 21 versus Iowa State. You go out drinking. You're not going to lose that game, you think. So the fans cleared out much earlier. That helped keep us in the game, I think, with not having as loud of a stadium. If Venables has them going this whole game, that's going to be another huge factor playing in Gaylord Memorial. So,
Mhm.
and as Matthews brought up to me earlier, the worst thing that happened to Iowa State was Lincoln Riley leaving. Them having no defense was the best thing that could have happened to us. Now they actually are playing with the best defenses they've played in some time.
Yeah, Venables is he's a great defensive mind.
So, well, shit. I would say my computer's acting slow as shit, so I'm not able to pull up the comparison for the last few years with us playing Oklahoma. But I would say all I know is under Campbell, we've played him a lot closer than we have in years past.
Mhm.
I think we have a chance, a small. We're even going to be remotely close, but if we play a game that we can, we'll cover the spread. If Oklahoma comes out firing and we have we don't want to be here that we saw versus Iowa and Ohio, it's going to be it might be TCU bad, to be honest. From Oklahoma's got enough
Ugh.
firepower, and we might just with how the defense is, it could get that bad. I don't think it will, but
Yeah. I hope that doesn't happen
Never
because
know.
I mean, at least last year it was the last game of the season, and everybody's like, "Screw it, we're just ready for the season to be over." Like, I didn't even watch the game. Whereas, we still got like 8 games left. I don't. I hope that doesn't happen here.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, Christ, no! I don't think we'd even be that close to them giving up at this point. But
Yeah.
sorry, it's finally loading here. I'm trying to see if I could see the last few games, but
You do your thing, bud. I do want to
14.
let you know that mustache is magnificent, and you should keep that going.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
I would say since 2016, it's never been more than a 14-point spread. So I mean, the last 8 games that we've played versus them, so a 20-point spread. I think that's, I wouldn't say easy money, but beating the spread equals a Cyclone win. Well, it's a win for my pocketbook. It's going to probably be one of my bigger bets that I have this weekend. But yeah, I would say it. I think we at least cover in this game. We know where we're at this season, ranked 7th in the preseason. So,
Yep.
I put on a bunch of top 25 matchups plus the Colorado game because that's going to be shoved down our throats. We might as well get some clicks out of it anyways. Number 8, USC at Colorado. Number 10, Utah at 19, Oregon State. 24, Kansas at number 3, Texas. 13, LSU at 20, Ole Miss. And then number 11, Notre Dame at number 17, Duke. David, go first. Which is your, besides the Iowa and Iowa State game, what's going to be the game you watch this weekend?
Probably
Or best game, I guess.
I guess the best game for me is probably going to be, I'm just going to say it, even though not really wanting to, but USC against Colorado. I think the Trojans are by 21. I think they can get halfway.
Scores?
Yep. I think so. Colorado looked like total garbage against Oregon, and I think USC's not on Oregon's level like much really, but I do think USC can beat them by at least 21. So that's my big best game or best bet of the bigger games.
Joey?
Well, my first 2 choices are probably going to steal Bryant and Trent. I really, really, really love that Utah-Oregon State game. I just think it's Utah's still not playing. I mean, Cam Rising came back a little bit. I think Oregon State is still very fucking good. They had a very entertaining game against Wazoo. Give me Utah to win that. 13 to 17 maybe. Like I think they just pull people down into the muck. They're going to end up winning the Pac-12 again this year just because. I mean, everyone else is going to beat each other up. I think Utah is just extremely well balanced on both sides and just super hard to beat. But Oregon State, I know they look bad against DJ looked bad against Wazoo. Look for a bounce back game. I don't know. I love that game. So yeah, I'm going to take that one.
Mm-hmm. I think in that one it's going to be because, Utah has not really been challenged off or had to come from behind in any game. They were always ahead in Baylor, and Baylor, almost came back. the Florida game, we're starting to see what they are, but Florida was never in that match. It'll be interesting if DJ does have this game where he can start out and come out quick. If Utah's going to be able to come back, because like you said, I know Cam Rising hasn't been part of it, and Nate Johnson's had plenty of time in here. Is he going to be able to have that playmaking that Cam Rising does, and is he going to be able to honestly make it a game, or is Oregon State going to be able to pull it away even with Utah's defense?
Well, and you might know this because I don't know for sure. I haven't listened to a lot of podcasts yet this week, but is Rising supposed to be back this week, and so is their starting tight end. And then they have 2 defensive linemen coming back. So, I mean, they played UCLA with like their B- team and drug them down into their level. So, I really like Utah. I really do. They're the what I wish Iowa was. I mean, with the stellar ass defense and a team that can put up points when need be.
You just want the red and black uniforms, don't you?
I do, and
it's Prairie Valley did.
Oh, man. Give me those Utes. If you could mix Utes
those are
with
one of the coolest jerseys, though.
All right, I'll be right back. I have mine from high school. Let's see if it fits.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you had a Utah jersey.
No.
That's what I thought too.
How did you go Utah?
No, I mean, I wish I did. Don't get me wrong.
Like I would have to agree. I think those red and black Utah jerseys, especially that helmet where it's like a black helmet with the red Utes logo.
Here? Yeah. Oh, the Utes logo. Never mind.
Yeah, that's like one of the cooler combinations out there on college football uniforms, I think.
I agree. Well, now, real quick, Dave, I got to ask you, as the Iowa fan, while Joey's changing, did Utah ask for permission to wear black uniforms?
No, nobody does. They just take it.
How dare they?
These motherfuckers.
I don't get it. My other close game, though, this week,
still
I don't know what time it is
boy.
the Notre Dame Dookie. Holy crap. You do have...
Yes. Sorry, you're missing this man in all his glory, Dave.
Holy cow. That's what our look... What's the sleeve logo look like again?
Oh, yeah, the PV.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This
I
was
forgot
freshman
what-
year, remember? I was varsity freshman year.
Freshman
So,
year, yeah.
Oh, shit. Bragging about being varsity his freshman year. Damn.
Yeah, right.
We're going to have to cut out early so I don't feel bad about
Hey,
myself.
I just embarrassed myself with my gut all over the place. So,
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot what the Prairie Valley logo is.
We never had a logo. We were just, it was just always, we never had the logo on the side or anything. It was just like Alabama and Penn State, we were that dominant. We just had black helmets.
Yep.
Well, I
Didn't need
meant
logo.
like the jersey stripe
Oh.
thing. I forgot what that even looked
Arm.
like. I couldn't even remember what it was.
Looks like fancy, like a tribal tattoo on our arms.
Oh yeah.
Trent, what's your big game?
I'm gonna go Big 12 homer here. Kansas, Texas. Kansas plays Texas tough every year. I don't think Kansas will win this. I really don't. Texas is playing good, but like Matthew said, I mean, I know he's an Oklahoma fan, so he's got to be a Texas hater. But Texas on upset alert. I agree. I don't think it'll happen, but I do like this game.
I agree. Now, the one thing that's going in their favor is Texas doesn't put anyone away, man. Have you watched any of their games?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, the Alabama. No one's going to take away the Alabama game was
Yep.
good. We're not going to talk shit about that. But it's like, if you're Texas and you need to be number 3 and you're trying to make the playoffs for the first time, you got to put Wyoming away.
Style points.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you got to get some style points. You got to put them away. And trust me, we know Wyoming isn't just a slouch. They took Texas Tech to overtime and beat them. But Longhorns, you ain't the Red Raiders. You're not Texas Tech. You don't want to strive to be just kind of like them. You know, they finally put Wyoming away late in the fourth. Rice, they had starters in for quite a bit of a game. Baylor was their most complete game, thankfully, last week, and they did. That one was with ease. So they're going into it. It's just going to be, it kind of comes back to, Lance Leipold. I mean, being a solid coach that he is. Do we have this? Does anyone have the spread on that at all?
I don't. Let's see here.
I'm gonna look it up here real quick, but I mean, I believe Texas is about a 10-point dog here.
Or Kansas, you mean?
No, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Kansas is a 10-point dog, is what I believe it is.
Texas is 16 and a half.
Yeah.
Kansas covers that, I think.
What?
I know Texas.
Sorry, what do you have, Joey?
16 and a half.
That okay.
I think Kansas covers that. I know their defense isn't worth a shit. Or I'm sorry, their defense is not to that level. I think they can stop Texas, but their offense can keep up as well. So I think that's going to be enough with Lance Leipold leading them. I think it's, going to keep it close, but I think Texas pulls this one out. But I don't know, man. I'm surprised no one picked. I was kind of like in the Notre Dame Duke game because I think this is going to be a good bounce back for Notre Dame. And if Duke's actually going to be legit, I was going to consider LSU Ole Miss, but like I said last week, Ole Miss, a bunch of Iowa fans a few years ago were mad at Colin Cowherd for saying that Iowa was the fake ID of college football. You've lost that. It's now Ole Miss. They're the fake ID of everyone thinks they're good every fucking year, and every decent opponent with a heartbeat in the SEC they play, they absolutely shit the bed. And I can't believe how it's an every year. This is the worst Alabama team that they could have played, and Kiffin loses by 2 scores.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think LSU has a get right game with them, even though I know it's at 20. I think LSU covers that one, man. Ole Miss is just. They're good, but they're not what they should with that talent.
I still think they would win the Big Ten West. Just saying.
No offense, Joey. Iowa State would have a good chance of winning the Big Ten West right now.
I mean, they almost beat Iowa, so yeah, it makes sense.
that Iowa game was a 2-score game until garbage time when they weren't trying. I'm not going to act like that was like a true 1-score. Nah. So.
Notre Dame Duke. That's my second game for this week.
What's that?
Notre Dame Duke. Duke is playing very, very well. I watched some of the highlights of their first couple games, and I caught a good chunk of one of their games actually on my phone. And they play very good, like very just balanced team. And I think Notre Dame probably wins, but I think it's going to be a fight.
Mm-hmm.
So Notre Dame and Duke 17 in the nation. What is this, a basketball game? They're not good at football.
I like that. God damn.
They're going to get Coach K, who's isn't he 80 years old as well and has jet black hair? They'll bring him out and cheer and get the Duke team riled up.
It's like 74, but yeah, 80's close.
70, close enough. Close enough to where we know he doesn't have jet black hair. That was the main point of that one.
I've seen the Krishkeville. I can't say the name.
Since we're talking some of these top teams, I did throw in one here and we can talk about bets. I don't know if you guys have any guarantees because I haven't seen Don plays tonight, but I want to give him some winners here.
Because I won him so much money last week.
Did you?
Well, yeah, I don't want to bet the under in the the under hit. So yeah.
Yeah. Can you name the 5 schools right now, since we're getting into betting a little bit, that are undefeated straight up and against the spread this season? Now, I'm going to give you a clue on that. It's going to be one team from each of these conferences. One from the Pac-12, one from the Big 12, one from the Big 10, one from the ACC, and one from Conference USA.
Liberty.
Is that right?
That's the Conference USA one. You're right there.
Is Texas?
No.
KU?
Nope.
What?
Kansas State?
Oklahoma. They've been pounding everybody. Yeah. They got
Washington's the Pac-12 team.
Right. No.
What? What spread didn't they cover?
Utah?
I don't know. I'm just listening to Tom Fornelli tweet. I don't have the stats in front of me.
Is it Utah?
No.
It's not. Is it USC?
No.
I was going to say it can't be. They have not covered.
Washington State.
No.
Oregon.
It's Oregon. We only had to list 5 of the 5 undefeateds there. So you had Oregon, Oklahoma, Liberty. All right, who's the ACC team?
Florida State.
Right.
No, not Florida State. They just won by 2.
The U,
Trent,
baby.
you're wrong. It's not the U.
It's
A
not.
little farther north.
It's
Nope.
fucking Duke. Are you kidding me?
Nope. North.
North of Duke?
Virginia.
Virginia?
What would you say, Dave?
Virginia?
North.
We were good at this game.
Boston College?
West.
Louisville.
It's Syracuse.
You're
Orangeman, baby.
Syracuse.
Oh, God.
All right, last one.
Well,
Sorry.
shit,
Penn
everyone
State.
is undefeated in the ACC right now, so that makes sense.
Yeah, play a bunch of garbage teams in the out of conference.
Yeah. Big Ten's
Um,
got to be Michigan, right?
Wrong.
You just said, I think, the answer.
I almost slipped it when I said Big Ten earlier.
Penn State.
Penn State.
Penn State.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, actually, last one. This is at the bottom here. Can you name the teams that are undefeated but winless against the spread?
Ooh.
A Big Ten and an SEC school.
Ohio State.
Nope. Michigan.
Michigan.
Yep. And then who's the SEC
And-
school?
Georgia.
You got it.
Yeah,
Georgia.
gotta be
To
Georgia.
say their spreads are so big,
Oh.
probably. Yeah.
And they. So can we go back to the top 25 real quick? Because Georgia
No.
seems like okay.
We moved past it, Joey. We can't go back. All right, top 25. What you got?
Well,
here, Joey?
obviously Georgia doesn't look, like the world beaters that everyone thought they were going into the year. They didn't have the big ass Oregon game. Do you guys think they win the national championship still? A quarter of the way or a third of the way through the season, do you think that they win the national championship?
I'm gonna let those two answer first.
I think they do, but I don't think it's as convincing throughout the year as last year it was like Georgia's going to win this. Like everybody's just playing for second place. I don't think it's like that this year, but I still think they win it. But there's a lot of teams that can sneak up on them right now.
I agree. And my other thing that I want to touch on with this is how is LSU still at 13? I mean, they really only lost a decently competitive game against Florida State. And I mean, they squeaked out a win against Arkansas, but Arkansas is no slouch in the SEC West. Like LSU's damn good. How are they only 13?
So you're saying they're
Arkansas
underrated?
ain't
Yeah.
that great either, though.
Yeah, but they're not. Iowa was
I know
ranked
they're,
last
they're
week,
not.
and I
They're
put up-
middling.
Yeah, I think LSU should be in the top 10, and I still don't think Georgia should be in the top maybe 5 right now. If you go resumes,
So,
That's my opinion.
so who do you take out of the top 10 right now? Then
I don't know. That was my other thought. I really.
see, I'm pulling it right now. So just to go over quick: Georgia, Michigan, Texas, Ohio State, Florida State, Penn State, Washington, USC, Oregon, Utah, and then 11, 12, Notre Dame, Alabama that have one loss as well.
Probably USC. They have the worst resume.
Yeah,
I take
I
one
can
loss
see
against
that.
Florida State over whoever USC has played so far.
hmm
I don't know.
I mean,
this is why I don't like preseason rankings, but that is what it is.
I agree because we're seeing it in. I can't remember what account it is. I think it's like CFB Home that like throws up these stats. There's 27 undefeated teams, and how many one-loss teams? Right now it should be whoever's undefeated should be in the rankings above everyone else, and then one loss. And I know it's strength of schedule right now, but you have a one-loss Alabama, a one-loss LSU, a one-loss Ole Miss, a one-loss Tennessee, a one-loss Florida, all above 4-0 teams, including a 4-0 Missouri.
Right.
Who's another SEC that you could make an argument should be above them. How do you have so many one-loss SEC teams in the top 25 other than strength of schedule so that then when they all cannibalize each other, they go, well, it's a tough SEC loss because Florida's ranked 22nd, Tennessee was 21st, even though these teams haven't proven much to be in the top 25.
Right. Well, then what do you do at the end of the year when all the Pac-12 teams cannibalize each other? And I mean, should all of them still be in the top 25 because they're all good? You know,
we need to keep an eye out because this will be a good indication this year. We all agree Pac-12 is probably the strongest conference this year, top to bottom, because 5 of the 10 are highly ranked.
I would think so.
You can't say that about Big Ten has very low bottom feeders. Same with the Big 12. Same with every other conference. If the Pac-12 cannibalizes each other and they have, we need to watch week to week. When Florida loses, it's a drop in one spot. But if Utah loses to Oregon State and they drop like 8 spots, that's going to be the big bullshit meter when it's a top 20 matchup and they're playing on the road too.
100% agree. Yep.
So
I feel like that's how it always is outside of I feel like the Pac-12 this year shows how strong they are for a conference, but I feel like it could be any conference that say it's a 8 versus a 15 team, 8 versus 15. If you're outside of the SEC and you're the 8th ranked team and you lose, I feel like most of the time you go far that you can't catch up. A lot of times, no matter if it's Big 10, if it's Big 12, ACC, whatever it is, I just feel like that's why I think the bias towards the SEC is I'm kind of glad it's backing off, but I still think it's hovers over them a bit. But I'm also an older guy that I just think undefeated teams need to be ahead of the one-loss teams at least. The first
at least early on.
So
I think
regardless of what the scat or who you've played, if you're undefeated, you should be above a one-loss team.
Right now, I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think we've solved this problem for the NCAA before. It's don't even have rankings until week 6, and then it's okay. Then go, who have you played? What have you done?
And see, that's where I disagree with you, Dave, is the Florida State, LSU thing, the big matchups. I don't know. I guess you could say by week 4, who is decent and who's not by that point. But I don't know. And especially with take a team like Utah, we've already talked about, that's playing with their B- team right now because they have so many injuries. It's hard to judge, how bad is Florida because they lost to Utah, but how good is Utah because they beat Florida at this point in the season? I don't know. I agree with Trent, and I agree with you 95% of the way.
I just think I do agree with all of you with the preseason rankings. Get rid of them and then start whenever this week, whatever week it is,
be week 5.
Start there or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, week 5, but I do think no matter if they're gonna keep it this way, if you are undefeated, unless you've played I don't know, 3 super horrible teams, then or 3 teams that haven't mounted nothing, sure, be a little bit lower. But if you're playing in these bigger games and you're undefeated, yes, you should be way ahead of any one-loss team. That's how I feel about it.
But if I'm just asking you straight up right now, do you think Alabama loses to Missouri then?
Right now, if they played?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm. So if Missouri beat Alabama,
no,
is that what you're saying?
Who wins between Alabama and Missouri? Because Alabama's got 1 loss and Missouri's undefeated. So that's why I'm asking, is because rankings should be who could beat who. Do you think Alabama loses to Missouri?
I don't know. I guess I never thought of it this way, and I'm really
confused but then you're
to where it's going.
Yeah, but then you're just feeding immediately into the SEC teams should never drop because they play tough competition. LSU has a legit loss to a number 4.
Oh, right.
Alabama has a legit loss to number 3. That doesn't mean at some point we can't just go, well, we can never drop them. The tough losses. Everyone has tough losses.
Oh, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't drop them out of the top 25 or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, I feel like rankings should be resume based, not so much of what your record is, because you can have, quote unquote, good losses. Like I said last week, whoever loses the Ohio State Notre Dame game, still in the college football playoff because it's an early loss. It's a good loss. I mean, especially the way the game played out, that's even better now. It's basically like both teams won.
I don't know. It's tough for me to go, all right, let's look at these resumes. Early on, you failed one of your 4 assignments, and here's the other team. Oh, they've won every game. They've won every game that's on their schedule, and that's what we always get told by the SEC is like Georgia with their bullshit playing Ball State, Tennessee, School of the Blind. We can only play who's on their schedule. Well, Missouri and Oklahoma and North Carolina, all these teams can only play who's on their schedule right now. But Alabama, they lucked out that Texas happened to be good. Good the last couple of years, but they happened to luck out that Texas is very good this year compared to a year where like you schedule them 13 years ago and all of a sudden they're complete dog shit, and you go, well, you got to play who you play. Right. I just think early on we should go by records.
I agree to disagree, I guess. Which is fine.
You better not disagree. No.
Because for me, like, never mind. Let's just move on. I'm just dragging the podcast down now. Well, for me, if it's if Iowa runs the table now, ends up 12-1 after beating Ohio State or Michigan in the college football or the Big Ten championship game, should they be a fucking playoff team? Are you fucking kidding me? No, not in a million fucking years. Like, there's no way in hell.
And I agree with that.
Yeah, like they could be 12-1. I would be like, absolutely fucking not.
What about in the expanded playoffs when there's going to be 12 teams?
Yeah, and then they could be exposed. That's fine. That would make more sense than them being in now. It's just, I don't know. I heard this on the Cover 3 podcast. The thing I wanted to hear most is what your guys' thoughts were on how we should be ranking people, because a lot of people, like Danny Cannell, I agree with him on 0% of things besides this. He goes by resume, and I agree with that. I think it should be based on what your resume is, and not even so much of if you beat another ranked team, but if you beat a team that's a solid team that we've seen on paper 4 weeks in now. That's kind of how I feel about it.
So, yeah.
Just go right down the middle at week 6. Those first 6 games, that's building your resume. After that,
perfect. In 2 weeks, we'll come back on this podcast and we're going to go down each other's top 25 rankings.
We're going to go down each other's what?
Yep. Top 25 things.
But I agree. I think first you have to start with a very unbiased, hey, we know Georgia's the best and we know the good teams. You don't rank them until at least week 4. I'd probably even say 6 more than anything, But speaking of that, I'm okay with resume building, but when you're building off of a preconceived notion at the beginning of the season that Alabama was number 3, and then they lose to who's now number 3, and they can never drop, even though they lost by 2 scores, they struggled versus USF, who it's 5-star versus 1 to 2-star players. They should not be remotely close to 12. And the big flaw in this system, more than anything, resumes, it's the reporters and the voters that don't watch college football. And you can see it from a couple ways. One, Alabama right now, after a loss to Texas and struggling versus USF and a quarterback controversy that any other school would be, this is kind of a big issue. We don't know who to start and everything. They're still getting voted as high as 8 in the country by Brian Howell and as low as 18th. So no one thinks they're outside of the top 20, even though, like you said, resume and what they've done, they haven't shown anything to me to prove they're even remotely close to top 10 in the country. LSU has people ranking them. The highest is 10th. They have 3 voters. and they have someone ranking them as low as 19th. So you got these people that are not watching football. They're just kind of voting with, what I feel, it's a feeling more than actually watching what they're doing out there.
Right.
And I bring it up in that way because you see the same thing by not only these reporters that vote in the top 25, but these voters that vote in the Heisman. How many years have we seen players that are exclusively in the Southeast, Clemson, all of the SEC, Texas, they get way more votes and are very inflated because the Southeast is very regionalized compared to, I was shocked that Caleb Williams deserved to win last year, but him being a West Coast guy and no one watches those games, how many votes he actually got. Typically you go, well, is there someone who's 80% as good, but it plays at Alabama? They're going to get the votes.
Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I mean, the year Ndamukong Suh didn't win, right, Joey?
Yeah. Fucking shit. And this year, when Torrey Taylor doesn't win, the fuck, man? The fuck's going on?
Yeah,
Corey
who has
Taylor-
360 yards punting?
In a game.
Yeah.
Out of 7
Any
punts,
other
4 of 7 went inside the 20.
Did any other non-quarterback amass that many yards in a game this past weekend? No.
Ooh, I doubt it. Other than my college
who
football
passed for more
retro
than
bowl.
360 yards? Did you say your retro bowl team
Yep.
through that many, Joey?
I did. I have 100
who did
touchdowns
throw
in
for
3
more than that in the
seasons.
game?
What?
Oh, Jesus. I was going to say, do you know who did throw for more than that last week than the 360 punt yards?
Rocco. Air raid.
Air raid, baby. I don't know. I think we're going to get exposed this weekend. But
Yeah.
yeah, I can't. I'll be honest. I pulled this up and I can't even fucking read. The stats are so minute in there. I can read them.
By the way, Rocco
So just trust
had
me. It was over 360.
no. He had 349 according to those stats that were on there. So
Oh shit! He 11 yards short. Cut him. Whole scholarship.
just telling you, man. Torrey
I'm just
Taylor,
saying,
go Hawks.
Corey Taylor ain't the.
You know who's not going to get exposed this weekend?
The Jackrabbits.
I will be there.
Tell who they're playing.
They're playing the number 11 North Dakota Fighting Hawks.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to Brookings. Game is at 2:00. Going to be awesome. I've never been to a game in Brookings and defending national champions. So, yeah, all their games are sold out. So, lucky to go.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, it's the place to be in South Dakota on a Saturday.
Hell yeah.
Mount Rushmore? Fuck that. All right, is Mount Rushmore North or South Dakota? Where's Mount Rushmore? Is it North or South Dakota?
It's South Dakota.
Oh, Trent.
It's South Dakota. Yeah, that's what I meant. It's Mount Rushmore. That's all I wanted to say.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Yes.
Where's the
won
place
the national
to be?
championship.
Jackrabbit.
Yeah, Brookings, obviously. Not the Black Hills.
Yeah.
Where Mount Rushmore is, where
I'm ready.
99.9% of South Dakota tourism is.
They gotta, with the name Jackrabbits, they gotta have they gotta have a dirty saying for on shirts for them, right? Jacking it for the rabbits or something.
I don't know, maybe. I know their thing is ears up.
Fucking like rabbits.
Something's up.
Ears up.
Yeah.
Ears up.
Something's up when you watch that high-powered offense.
Whew. Yeah. They did beat, so they didn't play this past Saturday, but the Saturday before they actually played Drake in Target Field in Minneapolis. Yeah. 70-7.
I was watching that on. I was trying to watch it on ESPN Plus because I just have it on my iPad, just a little game in between commercials. And I thought it would be fun, and it was halftime. And yeah, I looked; it was 34, I think 7-0, and I was like, "Oh God, just turn it off." I don't need to see a massacre.
Yeah.
But
70-7.
But don't worry.
That's worse than the Dolphins Broncos.
See, Drake will let South Dakota State run all over them, but when they play fucking Iowa State, they're the giant killers.
Yeah.
What kind of dog shit is that?
Yep.
almost embarrassed us on Cyclone.tv. Yeah, Matthews, I know. I was already bringing up the Iowa State playing Drake bullshit. Come on.
Do you remember before that game?
Almost
That
like-
was the Lightning game year. That's why they needed that extra game during. Was it during? I think it was during COVID.
Yeah, we're
I remember they were saying we have a Power 5 Big 12 team playing a team that has 0 scholarships. Is it even safe for the team for Drake? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
They think it's like the Hindenburg and someone's yelling like, "Oh, the humanity!"
Yeah.
No, they just played us really well and we almost fucking lost.
yeah, it's
Oh,
like, is
just
it
awful.
safe for Drake's players? Like, these are big boys too. Like, this is still college
Yeah.
football. I know it's not D1 Power 5, but
They
it's
think
not like
gonna
we're out
turn
there
into the-
breaking everybody's leg on the other team.
thinking we're gonna be like the 22 Georgia Bulldogs out here just decimating TCU and every other opponent.
Yeah.
Or Iowa State, who is trying to get to a bowl game, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know, how is this gonna turn out?"
Yeah.
It turned out okay. They almost won. They had the time of their life. We got our win. We didn't have to play Incarnate Word. I remember that was the big
Yeah.
struggle. They're just calling, like, I think they called up Dowling Catholic if they wanted to play. We were
Yeah.
just trying to get any game to get bowl eligible at that point.
Yeah, they were going to play Incarnate Word, and then Incarnate Word made the FCS playoffs, so they had to back out.
See, we're trying to play tough opponents too. That's not
Yeah.
not our fault that Drake was available because they sucked ass all year. You know.
Yeah, I just remember
Surprised you didn't sign Bishop Sycamore.
their players will still be
Bishops.
older than Iowa State's players.
Probably.
BS high.
Jesus, probably.
We need to do an in-depth research about that IMG Academy. They're playing another school this weekend, and they're leading 96-0 going into half.
Jesus.
You are not like you're the premier school, and I know everyone has scouts there. How are you playing any school at a competitive level and people go 96-0? Clearly, that's a quality opponent, and that's why that receiver looked good. Throwing for catching for 330 yards. Well, they're playing. I think in that game, me and Joey were linebackers, and Trent was a high safety. Like who the fuck are they playing?
The college football playoff committee would still, that losing team, it was a quality loss, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Quality loss.
For sure. So
I feel like you're coming at me now with the quality law shit.
No, I've always said that about the college football playoff committee. It's as long as it was a quality loss, that loss does not count, depending on who you are.
So have you either one of you watched the BSI documentary?
I haven't.
Oh man, so it's all networks that set that shit up. Like they don't give two fucks if you're good or bad, if you have a name and like can propose to them basically,
Or
You're
even if you're a real school.
right? Basically, it's
They're not
good.
like
Watch
schools.
the doc. That dude is a big piece of shit.
They're like, just throw it on the air. Nobody's going to fact check this.
Yeah,
yeah, fuck it.
and I think that's what he went in thinking to the interviews, and then they were like catching him on a bunch of shit. It's a good watch. Watch it.
Well, it's just like Colorado football this year. It doesn't matter how good they are; they're going to be entertaining. Let's get them on national television. Yep. See you later, Joey. And we're down to 2.
Right.
God damn it. No.
I mean, you can say that all you want until you saw what happened this last weekend, man. That was, if they have another like 40, 50 to 7 score, they're just gonna outright call the nation racist for beating Colorado that bad. I mean,
it might happen before Sunday morning here in 4 days.
Well, when they're gonna be at 3 wins and 2 lessons, Dion will have something inspiring, and everyone will put crowns in the chat, and this is why he's on his king shit and everything else on social media. I mean, Joey, you can be mad all you want. You can go to any Colorado comment. Actually, let's flip it from Colorado. I'm tired of talking about. Did you see how kick-ass that Oregon video was?
I didn't see it.
I'll send it in the group chat here. But Oregon, it was basically, I mean, they're jumping on the train of we got to get clicks and everything. Ironically, after Dan Lanning said he didn't want clicks,
Right.
it was showing, you know, they're preaching respect and we don't say anything. And then it just shows like 30 seconds of Colorado's playing Shiloh Sanders, son Dion, saying, I'm going to beat the fuck out of y'all and your coach. And then asking why the team was so little. And then other players laughing at Oregon. And then their kicker remember the big controversies versus Nebraska? They're standing on our logo. We don't take this disrespect. Even though Nebraska was just praying in the middle of the field like they always do, supposedly. I don't know. I don't really care what Matt Rule does. It shows Colorado's kicker scraping up the O at Oregon. I mean, that's what pisses me off about this whole thing is they preach one thing and then you show a video directly contradicting, and we act like it's not the complete opposite. ESPN just goes, "Yay, Prime," you know. I don't know.
So I moved on to watching videos of pork butts. So,
are we gonna do smoker talk?
Oh, can we?
Real fun cast.
Man, we're way over the hour, so otherwise I would.
Well, yeah, we got a 2-hour limit. No one's gonna listen this far, anyways. You can say whatever the hell you want.
That we might as well do it off the air.
Yeah. So, well, yeah. Let's wrap it up here, and we can talk about smoking butts on the backside here. So, well, Christ, if you made it this long, we do appreciate everyone joining us in the chat here. I think we're gonna keep doing Wednesdays at 9 p.m. kind of keep a consistent schedule, so all of us can join in, having the fun, laugh and cry at our teams being terrible on offense and good in defense. If you do want to follow us, socials are below. They've been on the banner this whole time, but Instagram, Twitter, Twitch at Heartland Pulse, Facebook, YouTube, Pulse of the Heartland. You guys got anything else?
No, just jump on that shit.
No. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Tell your friends.
Yep. Share it with all your friends. Tell them it's worth it. We need the penny per view or whatever it pays. Yeah. We need it. I need to pay my rent off this month, and I'm not going to make it if we don't invite all your friends to listen.
Yeah, we are not like Oregon. We do want the clicks.
Yep.
Yeah, we do.
I'm taking all this money and put it in the wedding card for Faz this weekend. So.
Oh shit! I don't want to send our podcast money to another person. We need to buy another microphone.
Dark says, "Pay us." He misses everyone.
There you go. Well, now we've got it all. We've talked about Colorado. We got cats. That usually gets you a lot of clicks on the internet. So I think we're set here.
Cat videos.
I love Dion. He is the best. Give me prime time, Meowster.
They are reselling.
I'm
Joe, you are a Falcons fan. They are reselling Dion's jersey on the NFL shop for a decent price.
Man, they've been like $180 for like 4 years. I ain't doing that shit.
They're a little cheaper now, I think.
Fucking Bijan, man. I thought he was the real deal. I am still 6 points ahead of Trent, so I'll take that.
Yep.
Oh, I was going to say, you're talking about fantasy. I thought it was like, has Bijan not been playing well this year? Or what the hell's going on?
Yeah, he just didn't play well last week.
He's playing all right.
Yeah, last week was just bad for the Falcons altogether. I didn't see a touchdown scored by any of my teams this weekend.
Ugh.
That's how great it was.
Ugh.
So, yeah, I heard all you Vikings fans pissing and moaning on the Funcast. Man, you weren't a Hawkeye Falcons fan this weekend. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. This was fun.
Let's get the heck out of here.